Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome in Rugby League fans around the world, around Auckland. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with the Auckland Rugby League, and we bring you the live stream action of the SAS Fox Memorial. We're in round 5, and we're at the home of the Bay Roskill Vikings, who are hosting the Glenora Bears. Glenora Bears, from what I've been told, Little Secret Birds told me they've trained hard this week, and they'll be looking to come out of the blocks hard and fast. And Bay Roskill's had certainly a good few weeks away, as they've been travelling around Auckland, putting some W's on the board. Just on that too, a little bit of interest around our social media pages and what have you in regards to how the Bay Roskill managed to get 3 games in a row. Just wanted to make clear that we here at ARL TV, we do home games for all of the clubs, and it just so happened the way the draw fell. So we had Papakura at home, and the away team was Bay Roskill Vikings for that match. Last week we had Richmond. That was their home game, and it was a fabulous day down there at the Bulldogs Den as they were hosting the Bay Roskill Vikings, and it just so happens that we're at their home game today. So, as I said, big day lined up. I think we're going to see some wonderful football. If you're in the area, please come down and join us. Don't go too far away. Corey Ross is going to be talking to the both Prem coaches, and we'll get some insight there. So, as I said, don't go too far away. Back with Corey Ross very, very shortly.
Joining me now for the first time this year, head coach of the Glenora Bears, Tony Benson. Well, first of all, Tony, new to the club this year. How are you finding life with Glenora?
Yeah, it's been really good actually. I'm lucky we've got a crew of enthusiastic locals, that are giving their all since November. Surprisingly enough, they called the first training earlier than I was going to do it. So can't argue with that, can I?
Always a good sign, and of course you've got a pretty experienced team around you, including Gordy Gibbons, who might be the most overqualified manager at grassroots level, a long time with the Kiwis. That must make life a little bit easier as well.
Oh, definitely. Gordy and Ruth both do a fantastic job. It's really nice to have him on board, and he's obviously a character with a lot of experience. So we're whipping into shape, taking time, but he's coming along.
Now, the ladder tells the story somewhat, tracking pretty well in that regard, but what's your assessment of the opening month or so of the competition from Glenora's point of view?
Oh, we're a project, and we have been lucky to pick up points. We're a bit inconsistent still at the moment with our game. We can have some really good patches and then die off for a little while, but once we get that out of our game, we'll be a far better team than we are now.
And last week, 4 Aoka brothers on the field, the first time ever for the club, and the little one is the ball boy as well. Little things like that, is that all kind of part of the culture that you want to build here? Obviously pretty special milestones like that. Is that all kind of part of what you're trying to build here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, they're all locals, and it's a community club, and when you get 4 from one family, that's pretty amazing. I don't think I'll ever have it again. I've never had it before. The Bernard family are pretty prominent in the scene as well, so Yeah, we're pretty lucky, and as I say, kids are coming back to the club that have been gone for a while, and as the more we get noticed, the more come back, and stronger we get. So couldn't be happier, really.
One thing you're not short of, thanks to the ARL live stream schedule, is video footage on Bay Roskill. So I'm sure you've had a good look at them. They play a very different style to most teams that you'll play this year. What do you make of how they've been going so far, and what are the key aspects of their game that you need to address?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty familiar with Ipswich Jets as well and how they play, and I have watched their games. I think they're great to watch, and I like the way they play the game, and I think teams could certainly take some of that and put it into their game. Well, obviously their shift from side to side are pretty important to them. They're opening up the middle, and they do that pretty well, and their edges are strong, and quick. The short kickoffs are a good challenge, a new one that probably in rugby league we haven't really experienced much before. So we've got that to contend with, and they're pretty strong on the short side. So obviously we've worked hard on our short side defence and see if we can accommodate them. But to be honest, that's been a small part of our build-up, and the biggest part is us improving week on week, and we've got our own improvements, and as I said, one of the biggest ones is playing a complete game.
And one player I did want to single out. You lost Wairangi last year, possibly would have been your fullback, but you bring in young Dean Coker-Smith, who was playing really well with Waitemata last year, comes from experience with NRL clubs. What's he brought to the side?
Oh, he's brought a lot. Like he came at the right time too. We were quite concerned about our outside back, fullback area going into the season, and he just turned up out of the blue one day, and there he was. He's a great kid. He does know the game, and like when you have a good, I love a good chinwag about rugby league, and he's one that really knows the game and brings a lot to the table. Some good chats I've had with him concerning teams and how we're going to play and what we might do. But just as a fullback, he's been exceptional. Brilliant. He's an enigma, really. He's turns up. He looks a bit like a stats man when he turns up with his big glasses on and the way he walks and that. But you get him on the field and he's a real tough kid. I'm really enjoying having him there.
Excellent. Hey, Tony, thank you very much for joining us. All the very best today, and indeed for the remainder of the qualifiers.
Thank you. Can I just do a shout out to West Auckland Brick and Block? Fantastic support for us. We couldn't do without you. And all our minor sponsors, which you'll see on the back of our jerseys, they are the ones that keep us going. So support your local club sponsors, please.
Yeah, great shout there from Tony. Thanks, Tony, and all the very best. All right, short break before we bring in John O'Paul. All right, now joined by John O'Paul, head coach of the Bay Roskill Vikings. Well, Johnny, you come off a pretty comprehensive victory in the end against Richmond last week, but coaches always tend to be a little more pessimistic than the scoreline suggests. What did you make of the performance?
Yeah, mate. It's we were well, not satisfied, but we were pleased with our effort last week. Every coach knows that there's still plenty of work for us to do. And we went away learning quite a bit from that game, actually. And today we're going to try a few other things, which is good, mate. We want to keep things exciting and moving and changing and growing and developing. And we feel that there's no, although everyone plays to a certain structure, we feel that the game is wide open to determine how we want to play it when we play it. You know what I mean? We're not governed by playing the specific NRL way. Mm-hmm. We, be creative, man. Don't be scared to go outside the norm. And unfortunately, I think, and this is my own perspective, but I believe that sometimes this game can structure our kids out of their flair and out of playing backyard footy. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to just take our young guys back to playing how they used to play back in the day, and that was throw the ball around and have some fun and enjoy it. And don't be put off by risks, because everyone talks about the game that's risky, and we see risk as opportunity. That's what we do, and we're going to keep trying to make the most of those opportunities. And last week, those short kicks didn't work off or come off as well as we would like them to, but it doesn't mean we're going to stop. Just means we change a bit of variation, and we've added a bit of variation to our detail today. So, we did take away some learnings, but that's enough because it's been 3 games in a row since I've been on camera. Giving away too much secrets.
Yeah, we're making them give away all the secrets, but there you go. You heard it here first. Short kickoffs all day today today. Hey, Jono, let's dig a little bit deeper on that, I guess, playing free and developing kids in that way. There's been a few changes made at junior level this year with a first receiver bib and a dummy half bib, mainly designed around freeing those positions up, and also kids playing Kiwi tag for at least the first 6 or 8 weeks in that first grade. Are they positive steps towards, I guess, maybe freeing it up and encouraging a bit more creative style of play?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I think, definitely, because we know that's where it starts. It starts with our kids. And if we can develop some kind of system down there, I think the key, though, is we've got to keep it moving through the grades. And I do honestly think sometimes we as coaches can think it's about us. And so we become a little bit, what's the word? Not isolated, but, we can become a little bit of tunnel vision, I guess. But yes, that's definitely, a step in the right direction for our kids. And maintaining that through all the grades will be great for us. I honestly believe, that we've kind of given into a game where, it's more dominated around the middle. And we're getting this, we don't get to see the skill that our kids have, We see a little bit of it in rugby, but we want to see more of it in league, man, especially here in New Zealand. But positive steps, bro, and that's great for our kids.
It doesn't help commentators like me sort of raising my voice when these guys do something good, but you've got your superstars in this team. But in my view, a few real unsung heroes. I thought Ezra Vogel's been excellent this year, and guys like Sean Tempest. Can you talk to us about those guys that maybe aren't getting the plaudits, but are really key to playing this style? Yeah,
I don't know why our superstars get plaudits. They're not that good. But I tell you, one thing we learnt last week, bro, was the way that we play. Everyone did their job, and it shared the workload right across the team. But Ezra and Sean, we just give them a job and they do it. And those are the kinds of players we want, Sean's not a part of. Sean's been a Bay junior, but he's been out of the game for like 2 or 3 years actually, and he's come back with an attitude where he's willing to just do what the coaches have asked him to do, and he's jumped on board, and that's what we're looking for, guys that are keen, and have a great attitude. So there's Ezra, there's our mate Issy. Now Issy isn't a prop, he's a centre, but because we've kind of running out of props, we've kind of had to be a little bit creative and turn centres into props and second rowers into props, and we're kind of moving these guys in and around. So, unsung heroes, but mate, without them, we're stuffed. We need everyone to do their part. So, great to have them on board. And not the best players too, by the way, but we give them a real simple task and they do it with all their heart. And that's all we can ask for.
Unique challenge against Glenora, who probably for the last few years have been one of the biggest sides in the Auckland comp. What do you make of the Glenora Bears, and what are the key things outside of the style you want to play that you need to, I guess, contain in Glenora?
Yeah, mate, I'm scared. No. No, I'm kidding, man, I'm kidding. We give them all the respect they deserve, mate. They've been one of the top teams for a while. But the respect they deserve is we go out there and give it to them. We have to aim up. If we don't aim to win this game, then why are we playing? We've got to come out and we've got to take it to them. And that's what I mean by taking these opportunities. We've got to create them, and then we've got to take them. The more we create and the more opportunities we take, we've got a better chance of, coming up with the 2 points. But if we sit there and let them play their game, mate, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. I know, and we all know that they're strong through the middle, powerful through the middle, bro. So why go there? Let's change the game up a little bit where they have to think, outside the square. Let's not kick it to their props where we know that they're going to get a strong hit up. Let's kick it to someone else. And so when we can start with an actual set D-line, things like that. So we're trying to think out of the box to play against this powerhouse. But again, we want to win, bro. No doubt about it. And that's the respect they deserve. So, key areas. Stay away from Sawapi. It's probably it's a good one. So, just like last week, bro, we want those middles to work, and we're going to find different parts of the field to make them do that. and then when they're blowing, we'll go back at them with a little bit of speed around the ruck and maybe change a few angles here and there. That's what we're planning to do anyway. But yeah, big ups to them, mate. They deserve all the respect that they get, and yeah, we want to do a job today, hopefully.
Jono, always good to catch up, and I promise you can have the week off next week. No pre-match interview, but all the very best for today and indeed the next few weeks of the qualifiers.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm back with the chairman of the Bay Roskill Vikings, Colin Brown. And Colin Brown, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to, how are you, mate? Birthday boy?
Older,
wiser.
Yeah.
Hold your mic up to your, there you go, yep. So, Colin, first off, let's talk about the clubhouse. Had a mean makeover. I've seen the pictures. We've gone down and had a walk around. Tell us a bit about how that came about, and where'd you get the awesome graphics from?
The awesome graphics come from STO Design down the side of the wall. Monty, he did that for us. The signs, the V's on both sides of the clubs, that's from Kaz, from Sinex. So they're all sponsors of the club that look after us.
Awesome.
The general maintenance, the painting, like we had a church group that did one side of the club. The family, we did one side, and the front was done a year ago. So it's just little improvements. We're getting there slowly.
Look, and it looks like $1 million, mate.
Yeah.
You just sort of touched on some sponsors. I know you've got a few, so let's give a bit of shout out to them, mate. And bring the phone up. And if somebody's looking to be a sponsor, who would they need to get hold of?
Just go to the website or contact any of us in the committee. Myself, Tanya, any of the committee members. We've got sponsors, Clive Green Security. So they look after all our security around the place. They've been a major sponsor for years. Monty from STO Designs, like I said, did the graphics. Kaz from Sinex, his son plays in our reserve grade, fullback for our reserve grade. He's been around for a while, coaching up here. Good sponsor. Mike Glenn, one of the old boys. He saw the improvements we were making and just wants to help out. Reaches into his pocket and away you go. LA Fire, Gilmore's, Genesis Engineering, some of the major sponsors for the club that are helping looking after us, and they're paving the way for all our renovations and maintenance that we do around the place.
Yeah, and there's been a ton of work. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there is somebody out there interested to be a sponsor of the Bay Roskill Vikings, make sure you get on the website and get in touch with either Colin, Tanya down here, and I'm sure that they'll be able to put a nice, tidy package together for you. In regards to the season, what are your thoughts? You enjoying the footy so far? I mean, it's been a pretty exciting last few weeks for you.
Yeah, it's hot and cold at the moment. Like our reserve grades, they're plugging away. Our top sides, everyone can see it. The last few weeks we've been on TV. We're hot and cold at the moment. Hopefully today we're hot. There's no complaints.
Okay.
They're doing the best. And Jono and the boys and his management team, and they're doing everything in their power to get the boys playing an exciting brand of football, which I think they are. They're not going to shirk from it. They're going to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And look, I was very fortunate down here early this morning, as you were, setting up, and, a lot of junior teams, mini mods playing.
Yeah.
If you're a local in the area and, you got a daughter or son wanting to play rugby league, how we go about doing that, to get in here to be a Viking?
Yeah, just go to the website, Bay Roskill website, punch it in there. There's links in there to get us, or come up here on a Saturday. We want kids playing football. That's what it's about. We had under sixes play at 10:40. We had 5 or 6 kids, 1 girl.
Yeah.
It was awesome watching it.
And the club's got room for the ladies to play?
Yes. We've got options to get a ladies team or girls team.
Okay.
But it's just the numbers at the moment. But hopefully we can get them. Yep.
In regards to the international grade, I saw one of those being played out the back, with
Yep.
some of the older kids. Talk
Yep.
a bit about that.
We've got a couple of international grades. Our under-14s played out at Prapakura today, so they're our highest team in the international at the moment. Hopefully we can keep them together because it won't be long. They'll all be playing reserve grade topside football.
Absolutely,
You know?
yeah, it doesn't take long.
And a few of them, the goal is we've had a few father-son playing
Combos,
together.
yeah.
So that's a goal for a lot of the members at the moment, is to hang around playing topside reserves to play with their sons.
Absolutely. And look, one of the things too, you're really strong down here with not just the community, but the family that's involved with
Yeah.
Bay Roskill Vikings. Having good, strong support, sponsorship's one thing, but also volunteers, mate.
Yeah.
Where are you shy there? Do you need any sort of tooling up, bit of help?
We're like every club, we rely on our help, our members that come along, and then the tuck shop, just to mention a few, Henry and
Yeah, absolutely,
Henry
please.
and Kahu, they're always here. They're stocking up the place. They're cooking early on a Saturday morning for us and doing runs when we need it. Maybelline, she's in there.
Yep.
She reffed the game. She's cooking chips, running around
Good
the
on you,
place.
Maybelline.
Yeah, they're always out here working for us. And of course, Tanya.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
club wouldn't be where it is without the boss lady,
Yeah.
as you know, in charge. And yeah, so
Yeah. Well, I've been told the boss lady, she's got a big treat for you lined up today as the birthday boy.
Oh, well.
And I can't say too much about that, but I'm pretty sure it'll put a smile on your face. Mate, finally, hosting your home game here today. For any of rugby league fans who are out and about, what happens at the club tonight? Can they come down? Can they have a meal?
Yes.
Have a couple of drinks?
Yes, sure.
Talk about that.
The bar is open always on a Saturday afternoon from 1 o'clock. There will be meals for the host teams and visiting teams, and the canteen is always open.
Awesome.
Always open. Just quickly,
Yeah,
while I can,
please.
I'd just like to say thank you to Auckland Rugby League and for the live stream games and the work you guys do. It's a hard job. You probably don't get thanked enough. But we've got a 91-year-old who was the first Bay Roskill chairman, Keith
Yep,
Grubb.
yep.
He's lives out in Waiaopa, and he watches it regularly. So
Awesome.
Well,
mate,
without that, he wouldn't be still watching football.
Yeah, mate, and we have a great pleasure in doing it. We get well hosted, obviously. We've got good, solid friends around the place, not just here at Bay Roskill, but across the whole Auckland region with the rugby league, or the love of rugby league. So, just on that, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting very close to the kickoff. I want to thank Colin hosting us here today. If you're looking to catch any of the action replays, you can get them on ARL TV on our YouTube channel. Please don't go too far away as we get ready for the main clash today. Glenora Bears being hosted by the Bay Roskill Vikings, and Corey and our special guest commentator will be with us very, very shortly. Don't go too far away. Cheers, Colin.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Good. All right. Next year.
I don't even know if that was on.
Right on, mate.
Okay, we've got a minute's silence. I'm just going to go and get that.
Thank you, boys.
Cheers, man. Best.
Cheers, mate.
Just move whatever here, man. Hey, still get on the camera. You know, Joseph. Yeah. Been away, bro. Is it? Yeah. Is the other guy still here? Hey, slipped it. This is it. Bullshit. Bro, is he coming back? Because I want to rip that bastard. I don't like it. Bro, he gives me heaps every time he's here. I'm like, bro, who's this new dude? Welcome back, bro. Glad you're here, not the other one. Glad you're still here, Grayson. One day you'll take over your I'd stop turning up for you, bro. Hey, Ev. Good, how are you? Morning, afternoon, whatever it is. Where was that? Did they cluster them all up? Like they were doing? Good? Yeah. They ended up playing two nine-side games.
So they got 18s now too.
He's the referee guy.
Well, they played today anyway.
Move the other shut up. Let the spin. Where you going to sit? When you get cold, I want to hear about it. All right, I've got to throw him in. We're not related to him. Okay. Right.
Hello.
He's more worried about getting time off school now, you know. Smuggle up time to get.
Wait. So that referee's being audited today by another referee, so they're running with their own time yet, so they're going to be doing things for that. Okay. Can you hear? All right.
So we've got the Fox fixture, the Fox letter.
Fox fixture, Fox letter.
Anything else?
No. So when you talk, when you'll hear you, you'll hear you. Okay, let's rock and roll. Everyone be quiet.
Well, hello and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, live from Blockhouse Bay Reserve here in Newlands, sort of West Auckland area. I am Corey Rosser, live today with TJ Ashford, who will bring in shortly. A bit of an overcast day here at Blockhouse Bay, and a little thread of rain, a little drizzle of rain so far, but nothing too full on, although it will be interesting to see how that impacts the game plans. We've probably got a little bit of a clash of styles here today, and the weather may come into play on that one. But we're going to get straight into looking at some of the fixtures coming up in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership today, and we'll talk you through those and bring TJ in for a discussion. We can see there the supporters gathering on the hill here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve. That's the Glenora side of things. Trust me, there are Bay Roskill supporters everywhere as well. And like all great rugby league grounds, the hill there is scattered with families, multi-generations of people who have been involved in the club, so great to see. All right, let's bring up the graphic now for the draw and talk you through the games that are going on today, and we'll start at the first game. Mount Albert Lions versus the Te Atatū Roosters. Te Atatū, well, they have picked up their first victory now. They come up against the Mount Albert team who I feel are starting to build in confidence a little bit. I think starting to get a few injured guys back as well. They've had a bit of a torrid run there. That'll be an interesting game at Felds Park. Richmond take on the Mangere East Hawks. And we'll bring TJ in for this one, given that we've commentated both teams so far this year, TJ. Mangere East, well, seem to be really hot or a little bit cold. And Richmond last week just struggled to stay in the contest and find any result off the back of it.
Yeah, with Richmond there, Corey, they were okay last week when they were in some good ball position, but I just felt that they struggled trying to get out of their own end of the field for most of the game. With regards to Mangere, definitely hot and cold at the moment. So as a coach, Richie will be looking at where they're going wrong at the moment, which part of the game they're actually losing in terms of the battle there, and it's just about getting a bit of consistency within their football for the rest of the year.
And I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the Richmond team list, but I know they lost both halves, I think, to injury mid-game last week, as well as a winger. And Hawaiki Annandale, the big one there, he's sort of their chief playmaker. So that will have a big bearing on the result as well. The Marist Saints are home to the Papakota Sea Eagles. Marist going okay this year, and Papakota, well, we were witness to their only win this year, which was against Bay Roskill. Have struggled a bit in the last couple of weeks. That's our live stream game, Bay versus Glenora. And this one, which I think is probably the game of the round, in my opinion, Otahu up against Point Chevalier. Point Chev, at least results-wise, have been flawless so far this year. Otahu, a couple of good results, a couple of disappointing ones as well. Again, TJ, they've sort of got that feeling that they're maybe a bit of a sleeping giant right now, the Leopards.
Yeah, definitely. And both teams, their strength is probably their forward packs. So, and with the weather out there today, it's probably going to suit both of them. So it's going to be a very hotly contested battle between those two. And Otahu being at home as well, they might just have the upper hand on Point Chev, but they'll be looking to try and come away with the win today.
The Howick Hornets head over the bridge to Birkenhead War Memorial Park. It's an interesting one. Howick was struggling last year before the season was cancelled, and as a result probably went a little bit under the radar, but they as well are undefeated so far and travelling really nicely. But the Northcote Tigers, considering the number of new players they've got, going pretty well this year. Do you sort of see that Northcote are able to give Howick a game there, or do you think Howick's too strong?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this game the other day. I think Northcote might be a smoky against Howick, so they're at home as well, so they'll be looking to put in a strong performance there for their home crowd. But look, anyone can beat anyone on their day, to be honest, Corey, as long as they're up for the battle. And Northcote still have a bit of experience in their forward pack with the likes of Eddie Fangota and David Barner there, so as long as they're leading well from the front, then I'm pretty sure the rest of the young crew at Northcote will follow suit.
All right, let's bring up the ladder now and look how things stand after, I think, 5 games. 4 games, in fact. It's Point Chevalier, Howick and Glenora who are flawless, undefeated. They sit atop, and of course Glenora have the Root Rooster Challenge Trophy in their grasp as well. Bay Roskill, well, not many would have picked them to be 4th at this point of the season. They had struggled to, mix it with the top teams. It is a different story this year, although today possibly their biggest test of the season so far. They've already had a draw against Mount Albert, but Glenora, just in particular, the size of the Glenora pack will present a real challenge for them. Otahu, Mount Albert nestled in just behind, and the teams on just the 1 win so far, but we have no teams without a victory, which is a positive. Mangere East, Marist, Te Aratu, Richmond, Northcote, Papakura. The bonus for them is that top 5 is literally only 1 win away. So a nice congested table after the first month here in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. We can see here the Bay Roskill dressing rooms, which have been redone since we were last here. Had a little walk around inside earlier, and a fantastic history corner there with all of the club photos. And of course Bay Roskill is an amalgamation of several different clubs. There's the Avondale Wolves. I think originally they were called the Mount Roskill Devils, if I'm correct. So there's a whole lot of history here, and I think in the next 8 years or so, they'll celebrate 50 years as Bay Roskill, the combined club. So great stuff going on down here. A big crowd here at Blockhouse Bay. We saw the reserve game earlier, which was won easily by the Glenora Bears, but the crowd has turned out, despite the fact that it's a little chilly. Really looking forward to this clash. The 2 teams now are making their way onto the field, and we are going to have a moment's silence, which we'll talk you through in a minute, but maybe just get TJ to briefly touch on the return of the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. TJ, that they had the week off last week due to a forced redraw. A couple of big games today, but the one we probably want to talk about, Manukau versus Hibiscus Coast. I think we all agree Manukau probably the favourite so far in the Fox Championship, even though there's only been 1 game. But Hibiscus Coast, the team capable of pulling out a result.
Yeah, and definitely with the clash between those 2 sides, Corey, they've actually had a bit of a grudge match over the last couple of years as well. So a few years back, Hibiscus actually, I think it was the year before COVID, they actually just beat Manukau to make the top 4, and I think it was a clash that they played out at Stanmore Bay Reserve as well, which is where they're playing today, I think. So it's going to be a very, very tough fixture out there. But yeah, definitely Manukau's a team to beat. They've got one of our boys, Pai Falau, over there this year as well as a hard-running centre. So they've only just added to their forward pack and that from last year. So they'll definitely be one team to beat for this year.
All right, we're now going to go into a moment's silence, and I can see Glenora making their way over in the corner of the screen as well. And the moment of silence is for Jerry Sampson, grandfather of Coma Sampson, who unfortunately passed away last week, aged 84. Coma, a real servant to the game. He's played for Auckland and a number of Auckland clubs, and TJ was just telling me before, he even coached him at junior level as well. So our thoughts out to the Sampson family on the sad passing of Jerry, but a moment's silence now, as is customary in rugby league, as we show our respect.
Behind the Glenora crew as well. I think they've got coaches and family there. Yeah, that's good. That's good. give it a little taste of 3 as well. Just pan through it. Nice. And back to you, mate. That's it.
So a moment of silence finishes up. Nice touch there from the Glenora Bears. Looked like the full reserve grade team was out there, as well as the management staff in the background there. So the moment of silence for Jerry Sampson. As we see a couple of the players embracing there. Probably a lot of guys that grew up together, given the proximity of these two clubs. And a lot of Kelston boys scattered through both of these teams as well. In fact, I dare say there's probably more Kelston players than not that have come through the grades scattered across these two grades. So it looks like it's going to be Glenora kicking off, and they will be kicking and indeed running down to the hill end here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve. The team list here we'll run through very quickly. Corey Vogel, the fullback. There's been a few changes, but the key one is Ropati and Henry in the halves for Bay Roskill. And for Glenora, it's in the pack. Swape Kavaliku and Chase Bernard, two of the best front rowers around. Coma Sampson is out, but we'll talk to those changes as we go throughout the game. John Paul and Tony Benson, the coach. We are ready to go. Round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. And it is Bay Roskill first on the football. That's Mackenzie Cutter, who's been a constant in this team. Leo Sevi. In fact, that's Corey Vogel wearing the headgear. So he's named in the one, but one thing we did see last week was this backline tends to interchange a fair bit. Matt White will go from centre to wing. Vogel can play wing and fullback, as well as Jarvis Leosevi, who has been hugely impressive in the games we have covered so far. Sheneth Henry, they're not going far forward right now. Here comes the shift to Vogel, who attracts the attention of 3 and then 4 Glenora defenders as one peels away. Henry Plings played back, and Ropati will drive a kick down towards the corner, and back position nicely is Dean Corker-Smith, who will bring it back. And TJ, will bring you in to talk a little bit about Corker-Smith. I believe you probably came up against him last year or the year before in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. This guy's experienced life at NRL clubs, although hasn't played with Newcastle and the Warriors. Looks a real talent.
Yeah, Corey, we actually played him last year when he was playing for Waitemata Seagulls out there in Ranui Domain. He was going up against one of our fullbacks in Marcel Connell, so two of the top fullbacks of that grade definitely going toe-to-toe. But he was very, very classy. He's actually a big body. I don't know if you can notice it too much on screen, but he's a big body for a fullback, and he's definitely got some wheels, man. So if he's into some open space today, definitely look for some points.
All right, so we have a penalty, which is tapped back by Bay Roskill, and, well done. They've kept it in. So Glenora given an early piggyback out of their own end, but they waste it as they fail to find touch. Look at the Glenora line, though, up so quickly. That line speed just suffocating this Bay Roskill team, and Bay are going to get a penalty now for a second effort, which has declothed Ezra Vogel, gets the shirt back on. So a penalty here for Bay, and we'll kick this ball to touch. But straight away, TJ, that Glenora line speed, noticeably trying to get up in the face there and just probably close down the shift of this Bay Roskill team nice and early.
Yeah, they've obviously seen the last couple of weeks' video from Bay Roskill, so you can see there as well, one of the Yoka boys was yelling out 2 pass and stuff like that. So they've obviously identified that they like to shift, but they've got good communication out on their 3-man at the moment, so they're able to shut them down quite early.
So Leo Sevi ends up with it, but again, there's next to no yardage to be made there for Bay Roskill. May have even gone backwards that time. Ropati shifts play on. Zach Tippins, who's wearing the 14, but is the starting hooker. What a player he is, Zach Tippins. Henry. Vogel juggles it. And then centralises, runs behind about 3 of his own players, but play on the call from our middle ref today, Joseph Green. Vogel now looks in a bit of trouble. Now, that doesn't look good. Perhaps struggling with a right shoulder or something. He's just struggling a little bit to get off the ground there, so it looks like we'll have a stoppage in play. The weather, TJ, it's greasy to be kind probably right now. Layman's terms, you would assume probably not conducive to the style Bay Roskill want to play. How does that change things?
Nah, well, again, I don't think Bay Roskill will be changing it by the look of how they're playing at the moment. So, again, with weather, it just means that their ball security needs to probably be a little bit better, have a bit more focus on it today. The weather definitely suits a Glenora side. They're primarily good or strong between their forwards in the middle third there, so it's definitely playing into their hands. But if Bay Roskill can get a few passes wide, they might find a little bit of open space later on back in the back end of the game.
Now, we'll keep an eye on Ezra Vogel here because he is a significant loss if he leaves the field. He's played a real key role for them the last couple of weeks, so it looks to have shaken it off. So let's hope it was a bit of a stinger. Mackenzie Cutter with the change of direction goes forward and into Swape Kavaleku, gets the offload away, and Ropati had to act quickly to prevent that from being a turnover there. Henry now will dart. Little power spin, a flick, offload almost, and play on is the call. So Bay now shift the ball on. Jerome Vogel down low, that ball's come loose. What a hit! Simon Luafalialo rocks Jerome Vogel and forces the turnover, and Glenora will get the ball back just as something appeared to be cooking out wide for Bay Roskill. 4.5 gone. Shout out to the true principal sponsor of these two sides, West Auckland Brick and Block for the Glenora Bears and Gilmore's for the Bay Roskill Vikings.
It's definitely shaping up to be a good contest today too, Corey. It's looking a little bit physical, and sitting in front of them at the moment, you can hear a fair bit of talk going on between the players too, so very excited to see the rest of this game.
And that's Vogel again. Well, he's going to have to go off, you would think. He's in all sorts here, and looks like an ankle. So hard to see that Vogel's going to play too much more of a role in this one. We'll have time off again. So Vogel leaving the field. We'll wait to see what the reshuffle is here. They do have cover on the bench.
Just while we got a bit of stoppage in play there too, Corey, I was noticing when you were going through the ladder earlier on, it's actually shaping up to be a big contest for Bay Roskill today. I think they're currently 3 points behind the top three. And if the top three actually win their games today, they extend those points there. So it looks to be a 3-game gap in between third and fourth place. So it's going to be a big game for Bay Roskill. That way they can stay in the hunt for the top 4.
Yeah, that's right. Lose and you sort of lose touch a little bit, but win, and you can consider yourself a real contender if you're able to get over the Glenora Bears. So yeah, it's a good point. It's early in the qualifiers, but certainly a chance to make a statement today. Backdoor they go. That's nice from Glenora, but the hands of Utah Ioka betray him in the end, but a nice little backdoor play there which had something going. So another changeover, and unsurprisingly plenty of errors early on here, just given the greasy conditions. Shout out to the Ioka family as well, all 4 brothers. That's Cartier, Zion, Utah and Isom, all Kelston boys on the field together last week, and little brother Hinkley was the ball boy as well, the definition of a family team. So great to see. Had the pleasure of calling those boys right through school and now at senior level, and it's wonderful to see them still involved in the game. As Henry, first receiver off the scrum, links in Liao Sevi. This is Jarvis, who finds a little gap despite the presence of plenty of blue jerseys. That's Clive Tuifua and Josh Tanielu. So making a bit better yardage so far on this set. The Vikings. Henry, the first receiver, will shuffle play out to Ropati and then on to Joel Liaosevi. Good carry from Joel Liaosevi. Wrestled to ground eventually by Luafalialo. Now the shorter man on this left edge. Bay are going to go back to the middle where Mackenzie Cutter will attract 3. So tackle still up their sleeve here, the Vikings. Henry. Ben Henry digs into the line, then brings in Leo Sevi. The step, Tanielu. He's got incredible footwork, although you don't want to get too close to that sideline today. Last coming up now for the Vikings. It goes to Ben Henry. Henry will dink a little kick over the top. It's right into the post pad. Who's got this? It's Glenora. The ball is up top and just about loose, and Bay do a wonderful job. They're going to force a repeat set here. Boy, oh boy, thankfully everyone got up from that. That, in terms of an attacking kick and making it awkward for the defence, TJ, you couldn't have put that one in a better spot.
No, it was actually a very good attacking set by Bay Roskill there as well. They've spent, I think that's their first set down here attacking-wise in the first half. No, it's only been 8 minutes, but Glenora's sting out of their defences just seemed to worn away a little bit there. So we'll see if they can somehow muscle back up here and try and win this ball back off Bay Roskill.
So speaking of muscling up, pays to do so when Mackenzie Cutter comes forward for a carry. Here's Sean Tempest. Nice offload to Kaliopasi, to Henry. Tanielu now breaking down the right-hand edge. Gets a fend away on one. Tuifua recovers. They're not far away now, Bay Roskill. 8 gone here at the reserve. Tempest bumps it forward and then shuffles on. Hot potato stuff, Tanielu. Tanielu fending them away for fun. Brought down too short. Henry will bring play back to the middle to brother Ben Ropati, then backdoor to Leo Sevi. A quick shift on here for the Vikings. Matt White wrapped up well and offloads to the wrong coloured jersey. There to clean up is Karie Yoka. So play dies down on that one, and the Bears now with a chance to bring it out, but now it's the Vikings with their line speed. Getting up nice and quick. Here's Dean Cocker-Smith, the man we were talking about earlier. Waitamata Jr., who spent time with both the Warriors and Newcastle Knights at age grade level. I was able to catch up with him last year, and he spoke of his real joy at being able to come back and experience club footy, which he didn't get to do a lot of when he was younger, just given that he was up in the top grades pretty quick. Zion Ioka. A kick which goes between wing and fullback, but Leo Sevi there to clean it up and brings it back, and Zion leads the charge. Zion himself spent time with both the Melbourne Storm and New Zealand Warriors at age grade level and cup level. Matt White, he was excellent last week, Matt White against Richmond, scored a couple and set a couple up as well. Henry to Ropati. He then goes to Kaliopasi, who I learnt this afternoon is a centre turned front rower. Just Bay struggling for numbers in the engine room. So Izzy said, I'll give it a go. As Ropati now drills a kick in behind. Look out. Vogel is chasing through, but Lua Falialo gathers and transfers and is taken down 20 out from the line. Nice little arm wrestle starting to develop here at the reserve as Cocker-Smith jumps out and finds a little half gap. Ropati and Henry forced into action to shut that down. Tippins. This is Mosi Aseta. 5 short of halfway. 10.5 gone. Still locked up is Swapi Kavaliku. There's a good carry from Swapi. Bay get him onto his back though and just play the ball down a little bit. Now ball in behind. That'll be a knock on. So put down there by Mosi Faiamani. So plenty of errors early on in this one, but that'll be the story of the day, really. These conditions not easy to handle the ball in. So we await the scrum to pack down. A lot of guys in these two teams that have either played at the higher levels or were probably unlucky not to make it. I know a player like Zach Tippins, many consider he was just unfortunate in his timing coming through. I think Nathan Friend was at the Warriors at the time, and Zach got up to reserve grade level, but many believed he was good enough to play NRL level. But unfortunately, sometimes it is just a case of right place, right time. And of course, guys like Chase Bernard, who are vastly experienced at domestic level with the New Zealand residents. So Leo Sevi brings them up to halfway. And Henry, but you can just see the middle struggling to combat that fast-moving line. Now this is a strip which will help. So penalty for Bay. I don't think there'll be too much need for a discussion here. It'll be a kick for touch, and they'll look to set up one of these set plays here. You see on field there, Justice Leosevi, who Bay lost pre-season to an ACL tear. So into it they go. Henry crabbing across field. Ropati to Leosevi. Looping ball over the top to Vogel, who's all on his own. Chaz Brown wrestles him to ground. Leosevi to Matt White. Real tackle breaker, Matt White. He's got a good fend on him as well. And another penalty now. So the penalties starting to rack up on Glenora.
There's a few tired forwards there from the Glenora side too, Corey. Just looking at body language there, I'd be quite happy if I was Bay Roskill at the moment. And if they can either muster up a try or try and look for a back-to-back set here, I think points will come off the back of it.
Henry shows and then offloads. Goes to brother Henry and then a ball over the top. Oh, basketball, but the final pass is put down by Jarvis Leosevi. It was in the end. So nice stuff from Bay, but the final pass was off. And I do apologise if we misidentified, or we, I should say I, misidentified Corey Vogel, the fullback, a couple of times there. Two men in the headgear who do look fairly similar from where I'm sitting. So apologies if we got a couple of mis-IDs on that one. But Glenora dodged the bullet now and packed down a scrum. And as TJ just touched on, I think a breath of relief there for the Glenora Bears, who were looking a little weary on their line.
Yeah, it was a bit unlucky for Jarvis Leosevi there. He was actually quite good last week on that right-hand edge and finished up a couple of short-side plays, and it's just unfortunate he couldn't tuck that one in and score in the corner.
Utah Ioka. Lua Falialo, the former Maris man. Some real speedsters on the park today between Lua Falialo and Vogel, who are lining up opposite each other. And penalty now for the Bears. So great chance now for Glenora to strike as the clock ticks over 15. Chase Bernard. Tippins. Yorka. Yorka digs into the line. Then to Corker Smith. Clive Tuifua dragging defenders with him. He's about 2 metres short at the end of it. Little dart from Mossy Aseta. Corey Vogel, what a play that was. Dead set save to try that time. Suape with the juggle. Taken down. They're about 9 short of the line here, Glenora. Chase Bernard. Taken down in front of the SAS uprights. Last coming up now for the Bears. Tippins links with playmaker Yorka. Goes to big brother Utah. Chaz Brown now gets on the outside. There's Bay jerseys everywhere and they're going to hold him up here. Handover ball, great goal line stand from the Bay Roskill Vikings and the Hiller-ups.
Yeah, very good defence on their own try line there, Bay Roskill, and I just feel like Glenora there couldn't get back into shape and have a proper shot there on attack, but look for Bay Roskill to work this out of their own yard and get a deep kick away by one of the halves.
So Bay now looking to get out of their own end. Henry to Tempest. Tempest has got the offload away, and Henry, who then gets another offload away. The ball's flying everywhere. Vogel, and knocked down by Lua Falialo.
Yeah, nice little chat there by Zach Tippins. You can hear it. I don't know if you heard it through the speakers there, but he's just asking his team, be patient down there on the try line. Don't try and score off every opportunity and try and build a little pressure. So a little bit frustrating here. So I think Bay Roskill, although been working most of the time in their own half, after 17, 18 minutes gone, they're doing quite well at the moment against this top 3 side in Glenora.
So quick shift for Bay. Tanielu gets the fend out. Big shout out to our ladies who kicked off last week in the Farrelly Photos women's competitions as well. Point Chevalier and Ponsonby, along with Rewa, the big winners in the Premiership in the opening round. We've got Point Chevalier versus Ponsonby tomorrow, which should be a great game as Ropati swings the ball and it's called back for Ford. Ropati says, "You got it wrong, sir."
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that went backwards out of the hands there, unfortunately. But hey, on-field official, on-field officials called it. So
let's have a look here.
Maybe not. Call me a fibber.
I think our lino's got it right there. So scrum packs down. Corker Smith is the first receiver. He goes to the line. Real rangy fullback. He's been playing really well so far this year, including a appearance in the Kiwi League Central Team of the Week last week. Kavaliku wrestled to ground by Leo Sevi, who got all tangled up there. Bernard goes to the line. Tippins, Fiamani, lacking on their right edge here, Bay Roskill. That's where Glenora's going to go as well. So a chance on here. Yoka shows, goes, and then fires the pass to Tuifua. Wrapped up well, though, by Tanielu. This edge holding up nicely so far for the Vikings. Zana Yoka dribbles a kick in behind. Vogel says, "I'll have that, thank you very much." Nicely done, and again, Bay Roskill strong on their line. Jerome Vogel now, look at the backs, getting involved as the forwards take a breather in the background. The Glenora Bears, though, relentless in their line speed right now. They move play on, and a little bobble. Great play, Chaz Brown. Leo Sevi hit to ground, and a nice bit of sportsmanship being shown there from the Glenora team as well. So huge set coming up here. You can actually just see the difference in the body language there for Bay Roskill. That's a bit of a blow there for them, knowing they have to stand up and defend another set on their line here. Time off.
Yeah, that was a big set for them attacking-wise, Corey. They definitely needed to get out of their yardage there. They've spent probably the last five or so minutes down here, and you can hear from Zach Tippins on the field. They're just looking at trying to pitch a tent down here and camp down here and build a little bit of pressure. One thing I do know about Bay Roskill is if they can get to the 30-40, they've got some really good kickers in Jerome Ropati and Ben Henry, so they kick quite deep, so they can kick themselves out of trouble. They just probably need to complete a few more sets.
So Karia Yoka feeds the scrum. Tippins retrieves out the back. Tuifua, who scored a number of tries already this year, but he gets monstered there from Ben Henry. He's having his best season at Auckland level, Ben Henry, in my opinion. We saw him the last couple of years. He came back after retiring from professional football, but looks to be excelling in this style. Tippins to a Yoka, backdoor to Corker Smith. This is nice from Glenora. It's brewing down the right-hand side. Corker Smith looking to break free. He's just about over the line, but is dragged back. There was a bit of a grimace there. He's back to his feet, thankfully. Tippins to Cartier Ioka, who shows and then hands off to Bernard. Bernard gets an offload away. Now Glenora's turn to fire a bit of hot potato football. Bay, though, holding up defensively right now. 21 and a bit gone. Tippins goes for a little run out of dummy half. Ioka goes, reaches out, but Vogel, his second try saver of the game. He's having a blinder at the back so far. Tippins swings out the back. Is that going to be 6 again? Let's wait for confirmation, and it's penalty. Offside. Bay doing their best now to slow things down. Jerome Ropati rushing over for a chat. That is great leadership from the veteran.
Yeah, no, that's gamesmanship there. Well done. He knows that his team needs a bit of a breather, so that's smart captaining there by Jerome Ropati.
Huge set again now for Bay Roskill. Riuli Buchanan charging towards the line. Henry's up top. Bay Roskill hold him back. 22 and a half gone. We're all locked up. No points on the board yet. Bernard. Players everywhere. Tippins. Tippins! Sharp as you like. Zach Tippins sells him on the dummy. Burrows over himself. Glenora are on the board, and it's just great play from the veteran rake that gets them on the board.
Yeah, Corey, as we look at the SAS instant replay there, nice eyes-up play there by Zach Tippins. You can see him there just looking at the try line. He's obviously identified, and I suppose that's just the benefits of having some big boys in this Glenora side, having them running close off the ruck there. It allows them to keep those defenders off Zach, and he's just slid in there for his first four-pointer for today.
Yeah, you're right. It was Mosi Faimani who played a crucial part in that. His little support on the outside just got enough attention from Bay Roskill to create that little gap, and from there, Zach Tippins, he's too good a player not to take advantage of that. So kick to come. You got to hand it to Bay Roskill, though. The possession in terms of good ball was heavily weighted in favour of Glenora, but they held on really well. But in the end, the pressure just telling there.
Yeah, I'm with you on there, Corey. This obviously four-pointer can go, one of two ways. Obviously, Bay Roskill can put their head down and, think that they've been hard done by there. But to be honest, if they look at it a positive way, they've spent the last couple of minutes down there and they've repelled Glenora off their try line for quite some time. So, that was an easy fix there. They can just tidy up around the ruck a little bit, and they can take that as a positive, and they've repelled them quite well. So, if I was Bay Roskill, I'd be quite happy with those last couple of defensive sets.
Jerome Ropati still talking to Joseph Green as well. Do we dare play kickoff roulette here, TJ, and take a wild guess at what we might see?
Yeah, well, you can tell Glenora's definitely done their homework here, because you can hear the Glenora boys, Chaz Brown in particular, yelling out short kicks. So that goes out on a full, unfortunately, there by Ben Henry. But yeah, it's like those are the risks that you run, obviously, with the style of game plan that Bay Roskill are running. And obviously, they're not the biggest forward pack or biggest side running around in the Fox Memorial at the moment, but they've looked to try and run teams around. So you take those opportunities when they come, and unfortunately, it's probably not the play after having 6 points scored against you.
Yeah, fair bit too much on that kick as well. It went out, I think, 3 or 4 metres on the full. So they'll kick for touch from halfway, and it'll be straight back into pressure mode for the Vikings. So Utah Ioka with the first carry. The Bears, one of the dominant teams of the past decade in this Auckland comp, tended to be there or thereabouts every year. Tippins clears the ruck, goes to Bernard. Bernard ball plays to Ioka. They head back infield via Riulu Buchanan. The man from Wellington, he's been excellent since joining the Glenora Bears a few years ago. They burrow low again, but Bay Roskill determined on their line. Tippins to Bernard, to Ioka. Dribbles the kick in behind. Vogel's going to have to make a play at it. And there'll be no escaping the wall of blue there as he's put down. So back-to-back sets coming up now for the Glenora Bears. Nice little tactical kick that time to force the repeat. And TJ, you touched on the chat you were hearing from Zach Tippins about being patient and just building, and certainly seems like the message is getting through.
Yeah, that's the long game, Corey, and especially at this level, I think the teams try and look for early or easy points rather than trying to build pressure. So for some reason they feel that, playing the long game is the harder one, but getting, as you can see there, unfortunately, I should never let a front row or a middle forward try and catch the ball off any kind of kick. But yeah, Bay Roskill, they ducked the bullet that one.
I was just shocked we didn't see a short dropout, to be honest. And from memory, in the 3 games we've called, I don't think I've seen Bay Roskill actually have to drop out.
Yeah, so. No, I don't think they have. So look, obviously changed tact, and that's probably come down to them defending on their try line a little bit there. And again, bit of experience. He's made the right decision there, and it's paid dividends for his team.
Poor old Mossy Whaiamani. Nightmare for a middle forward to end up trying to catch that in greasy conditions. Ropati feeds the scrum, goes to Henry. Vogel, and well, they're a little bit deep there, and it was telegraphed, although Josh Chanielu, he doesn't get taken down first time too often. It's either the footwork to create a little gap or he manages to fend away. He's a real talent. Ben Henry down the short side again. Corey Vogel just ducking and diving and weaving. Appeals for a penalty. Ben Henry to Ropati. Ropati goes the simple route this time and links with Michael Pule. The ball is loose and it's a little bit messy, and well, this will be over the sideline, won't it? No, somehow they get the ball away. Tell you what, it's hard to keep up with even as a commentator. I'd hate to be out there on the field. Kenneth Henry now. Ben Henry goes back door. Ropati, Leo Sevi, this is Joel. Leo Sevi, was that played at? Ropati's going to recover it. What's the call? No play on. Yeah, and you could hear Joseph Green there. He called Karia Yoka out. And I think he tried to avoid the play, Karia Yoka, but ended up getting involved again. So penalty in front of the sticks. Kenneth Henry to Michael Pule. Fresh legs on the park for the Vikings. Ooh, hint of a shoulder charge, I thought there. Henry misses Tempest. Instead, links with, I think, Isi Kaliopasi. 12 short of the line now, Bay Roskill. Half an hour gone. It's the Bears who lead 6-0. Ropati brings in Matt White. Ball's loose, and this one will be a knock-on. So the West Auckland Brick and Block Glenora Bears hold up well that time on the goal line, and as the clock hits half an hour, it is they who lead 6-0. And to their credit as well, have contained a couple of Bay Roskill raids. Bay Roskill heavily favouring that right edge, which is home to Tanielu and Jarvis Leosevi. Haven't seen a lot out the left so far. So Yoka will feed the scrum. Lord Falialo, the first man to put his hand up for a carry. Here's Paya Manukia, handy guy to bring off the bench. One of the bigger units running around. Another one with Warriors Cup experience. So a penalty here to piggyback them out of their own end. Henry screamed out of the line to try and get to Tippins. He's eventually taken down just on halfway. Manukia becomes the world's biggest dummy half for a play.
Yeah, big set defensively from Bay Roskill here too, Corey. I just feel something might open up shortly soon if Glenora can string a few passes together. It's going to be a big 8-minute period here for Bay Roskill. They've done an outstanding job so far. If they can, either lock up the scores before half-time or keep it at 6-0, they'll be in a good position to come away with a win at the end of the game.
Utah Ioka bumps his way forward to about 15 out from the line. Cartier now will crab across field before linking with a big body in the shape of Dre Whangupole, the former Mangere East man. Tippins with options either side. And a little knock on in there. So Bay Roskill now breathe a sigh of relief. The Hill are ups. And a chance now to work this football out of their own end. A huge thank you to our principal sponsors in the competition, SAS Sports. And while we're at it, Crown Lift Trucks for supporting our referees along with SAS Sports, kitting out our refs. Crown Lift Trucks also the principal sponsor for the second tier qualifiers, the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. So Henry off the scrum, they're going to go wide straight away. Vogel intelligently heads back in field. That was only going to end one way if he'd tried to go down the side. White to Ropati. Leo Sevi. Ball's loose, knock on. Chaz Brown again that forces the mistake. And a very good game defensively is Chaz Brown. So Glenora now with another opportunity with about 6.5 remaining in the first half here at Blockhouse Bay Reserve.
Yeah, Chaz Brown actually has been outstanding today, and he's led just with a bit of aggression in his defence, and I think that's probably the third turnover he's forced at the moment. So, again, Chaz, that's just showing his experience there and coming through for his team and applying a bit more pressure to the Bay Roskill side.
Daniel Riley Buchanan, a junior of the Poridor Vikings down there in Wellington. Here's Manu Kia. Slammed onto his back. Timothy Vogel, fresh legs on the park. Here's Bernard. Relentless. The big bodies this Glenora pack throws at you. Sloppy play the ball. More than sloppy. Knocked on. So errors aplenty through this first half.
Yeah, Corey, this just comes back to what Zach Tippins was saying earlier on about trying to be patient with the ball and build a bit of pressure. I just feel like Glenora are just playing that a little bit too fast for the conditions at the moment, and that's a few handling errors in the ruck, which are, one or two are acceptable, obviously, but they seem to be making the same mistake. So they probably just got to settle down a little bit, look to build a bit of pressure, and hopefully get some back-to-back sets down here and wear down the Bay Roskill side.
Matt White. This is the 17, Mark Sifa. TJ touched on it earlier. I think it's 6-0. Well, Glenora will be happy, but Bay Roskill will feel pretty good about themselves as well, I think, just considering how much pressure they've had to soak up. As Ben Henry takes them to 40 off their own line. Oh, it was messy, but play on is the call, and then Ropati unleashes a bullet. Corker Smith expertly positioned, though. Then links with Law Falialo, who will look to stretch out this Bay Roskill kick chase, but it's pretty solid, led by Timothy Vogel. Tippins now to Mosiasera. Vogel down low.
Yeah, Ezra Vogel seems to be back on the field too, Corey, so he's still limping out there, so must be a decent injury. Let's see if he can make it. Yeah, looks like he's injured himself as another error gets into the ruck.
Yeah, so another mistake there from Glenora, but that's a curious one. Ezra Vogel being back out there, he's, I think, made one tackle and already looks severely compromised. So either he knows something we don't, or Bay Roskill flirting with really wasting an interchange there right on half-time. Even a funny time to bring him on. You think at half-time you probably assess him and get a better read on it. But,
yeah, sometimes those, it looks like it might be a low ankle sprain or something. Sometimes they feel a little okay after a while, and then as soon as you get a little knock on them, and the injury comes straight back. But, yeah, it's a big interchange because they would have had to take him off early as well. So they would have used one to take him off and then one to put him back on. So, he's caught a knock on here, unfortunately.
Dear, oh dear. Rough to watch.
It's made it hard for themselves there, Bay Roskill. There's 3 minutes left in this first half, and a completed set there. Bay Roskill are the side as well that they can just get away with some of those sneaky tries sometimes, and I just feel that they're in the game at the moment where that can happen. So, that drop ball could come back and cost them, and fingers crossed it doesn't because they've been playing so well in this first 40.
Karia Ioka to Chaz Brown. Another good carry from Chaz Brown. He's been amongst their best. We touched on a little earlier. Corker Smith.
Corey, I'd like to see the left-hand half for Glenora as well. I think it might be Zion Ioka. I'd like to see him touch the ball a little bit more. And he's had limited touches in this first half, but every time he goes quite deep into the line and he actually drags in those defenders there. And I just think he'd be a good person to go to right now for Glenora to score some points.
So if it's an arm wrestle, Glenora are winning it. Not by much, but they are winning it. And they're winning that middle battle right now as Chase Bernard bumps forward. 2 to play in the first half. Kick goes in behind. Oh, Lua Faliala was all alone. Ends up going out on the full. I kind of liked the idea there, but the execution way off, unfortunately. So now Bay back out to the 20, and surely we see a completed set here, TJ.
Yeah, they just have to, Corey. Again, they've got the big, nice scoreboard here at Bay Roskill, so it's not as if they don't know how much time is left on the clock. They just got to complete the set. And like I said earlier, they've got some halves there that can kick them out of trouble as well. So maybe a little bit of leadership from Jerome Ropati, maybe take 3 or 4 here and try and find touch and slow down play a little bit with a deep kick.
Really, Buchanan. Vogel shifts to his right. Henry's going to kick. And a knock-on from Glenora. Well, they want to get packed quickly here. Look at Ben Henry. It's the fastest I've seen him run in a long time.
Yeah, I think if he had his time back, although Glenora got a knock-on there, probably not the play from Ben, but he's come away with a good decision in the end there, and hopefully they can come away with some points and back into this first half.
Yeah, you got to admire the bravery, but I'm not too sure how often you see tries scored from there. But hey, what do I know? There's a reason I'm sitting in the commentary box.
Yeah, Bay Roskill chairman actually spoke to me before we come on call, Corey, and he said, are you missing coaching? And when you see stuff like that, that's when I don't miss coaching. Heart rate rises a little bit, but yeah, look, well done to Bay Roskill. Obviously, they're not the biggest side, and whether playing into Glenora's hands here, and they've come away with 6-0 at the moment is quite good for Bay Roskill. Yeah,
so that'll get us to the break. It'll all be in vain, the scrum packing down. So it is the West Auckland Brick and Block Glenora Bears who lead this one 6-0 over the Gilmore's Bay Roskill Vikings. A short break for us. We have some highlights for you in the break as well before we resume with the second half action here in round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Henry, they'll work the short side, brother to brother. Tanielu holding it up. Liao Sevi, a diving finish. This might be a spectacular one. Elliott points to the spot. Bay Roskill are on the board. Henry, Ropati, looping ball over the top. Brings in White. White holds it up, and Matt White will go over. That offload looked off the ground. Elliott says play on. Henry then goes up over the top. Bouncing ball. Corey Vogel. Vogel holding up. Goes to Liao Sevi. He's done it again. Last coming up now for Richmond. A good kick key. It's going to be a chip over the top. Matrix Carl Heaver. Bouncing ball. And a decision here for Vogel to make. Ropati chasing. Vogel's going to get left in his dust. Nice hit back there from Richmond. And a beautiful charge to the line. Going to be fairly hard to ID that player. We're a little way out on our shot there. But Richmond, just like that. Henry, still the tackle to play with. Tempest jumps out of the first contact and was over the line at one point there, but couldn't get down. Last play coming up now. Kenneth Henry, double pump. Ben Henry, too strong from there. Basketball pass. Now they'll look to go back up to this edge. Leo Sevi, trouble now brewing down the left-hand side. Jarvis, Leo Sevi, in fact, it's Joel Leo Sevi. Looks back in field. There's only Bay Roskill jumpers around. Mark Sifa back to Vogel. It's a thing of beauty. Bay Roskill are in again. Go. Nice rushing defense there. Makes Ben Henry think quick on his feet. Basketball pass out the back. Vogel, the step. He's in. Beautiful to watch. Who is still the dummy half right now. Swings it out to Hignett Morgan. Hignett Morgan, lovely ball over the top out to the left-hand side where he links with Michael McKinnon. Pops the ball back in. Now what's the call here? We're going to have a try. Annandale. Dummies. Goes. Hawaii Annandale. Clever little play out of dummy half. Richmond hit back again in front of the SAS uprights. Henry looping ball over the top. Still the last. Ben Henry now. He's going to be tackled on the ball here, I would think, unless he can somehow Ben Henry. Oh, that is incredible. Holtz's Bay Roskill play down the left-hand side. Matt White into space. Cohiva coming across. He will not need him. Matt White. He's been provider a couple of times today. This time he's the try scorer.
From it or anything, as you see a break here by Leo Sevi.
Yeah, Leo Sevi now streaking down the right-hand side. A Goosey in there, looming in support. It's a hat trick for Ben Henry. Work down the left, a broken tackle. Matt White, he's fending them off for fun. Looming in support is Vogel. It's going to be Jerome Vogel that runs it in. Lopesi clears the ruck, goes to his right. Sione Nahi's over for a second. Harrison Sutton in front of the SAS uprights. Nahi. Oh, the big man's got three. Potentially. Hignett Morgan's going to run it. It's picked off. It's Joel Leo Sevi. He will trot in and put the result beyond doubt, you would think. Shout out to our man Pete. Siren goes in the background, an entertaining one here at Greyland Park. Bay Roskill 58, Waterview Laundromat Richmond Bulldogs 32.
Harrison, an unfortunate defeat in the end there. Showed a little bit of character though. I think overcame sort of 14-point disadvantages at different times. Must be pleased with the character even though the result wasn't what you wanted.
Oh yeah, we're pretty disappointed, to be honest. We did show character and points, but we need to show it throughout the whole game. It should be 8-minute sport, 8-minute game, so yeah, a bit disappointed there, but good signs here and there, but overall, not great.
Large periods there where Bay Roskill just had all the momentum. Can you put your finger on sort of what was causing that?
The shift's pretty good, eh? Jerome, that long ball was getting us a few times, but I think that was just fatiguing our middle. Obviously, we try to practice it on Thursday, but when it comes to the real thing, we just didn't break through.
All right, now joined by Jerome Ropati. Well, Jerome, last week I think you mentioned that the style didn't quite come off. Is it fair to say this week it did?
Yeah, you could say that. I think we've been working on that for a while. I think the style itself, our players enjoy it, and I think it's the conventional style of going up with a good forward pack. We don't have the depth in the forward pack, so we're going to shift it with our fast guys on the outside. It's an enjoyable brand of footy, and I think it's a good one to watch, and credit to our boys, we stuck with it.
How important was it today to have Kenneth and Ben back, two really good players, but also key positions in that spine?
Yeah, great leadership, those two. They've been around for a while. They've worked with the team. I think that the relationship that they have with the rest of the team is key. We have Matt White join us as well on the left edge there, and we've Sean up in the middle. Our young guys, Josh and Corey Vogel, and they're doing a good job for us. And we're just going to carry on that style, and the boys enjoy it, so we're going to enjoy it as well.
got your back.
So we're back, ladies and gentlemen, live, and I get to have a little cameo. Sort of sitting here just backing up the A team, and being a coach, past coach, well, considered coach.
I don't think he ever stopped coaching.
What do you think the chat was at halftime for Bay Roskill?
Well, we actually spoke about it in the halftime break, Troy. Both teams will actually probably be having two different conversations.
Absolutely.
You know, Bay Roskill will be quite happy coming away. I don't think they played too much in good ball, which means the attacking side of the field. So they spent most of their time inside their own half, and to come away with only 6 points down, they'll be quite happy and enthused at half time. So they'll be coming out to, try and turn the tables a little bit. Glenora
Bears, yep.
The Bears, I think they came here with a different perspective today. They wanted to come here and run over the top of Bay Roskill, and it hasn't come away. So they have to try and resettle and set some more goals and things like that. But they'll be a little bit frustrated at the moment. So the conversation from the coach there probably wouldn't be the same as the one in the Bay Roskill one.